So in the starting one, we are going for the command prompt. So again, I'm going to show you how you are going to do that. So go to the command prompt. So click on that. Let me share you my command prompt. Okay. So here you have to copy the path where the Java file is available. Okay. So first that in my desktop, there is a folder called ACE. So inside that my Java file is available. So how you are going to get that? By typing cd and 1 minute actually inside my desktop. Yeah, I'm showing you. Wait a second. So here my file is available. Let me delete this one, class file. So here, this is the file we created over here. To get that, how we are going to get that through command prompt. So just copy the address bar. This is the address bar. So copy the path of it. Just copy it and go to the command prompt and paste over here. And just there is a cd command over here and there is a path over here and press enter. So then you are entered into the folder where the file is available. There is a folder file is available. So now this file, this folder consisting of example.java. So how you are going to compile that? Just typing a keyword java c space example.java and then press enter. So when you are going to press enter, then the file has been compiled and I already deleted the class file. Let me show you my folder. So I just deleted it previously and it already again created because we compiled it. After the compilation, it gives the bytecodes. After the JVM and the memory allocation and all, the class file will be stored inside the particular location where the Java file consisting of. Okay. Where the Java file consisting of, then only the class file will be created. So now to run a program, we are going to use the same class file. Run a program. Let me show you my command prompt. So this is the folder already we're having. We need to check it out and then type keyword Java and then the class file name only, not a dot class. Don't do this. Only the example is enough because this is a class file. There is no need to mention the extension. What is the extensions? I will tell you about the extension. What are all the extensions?
exe.
This is the first Java program. Okay. So now you got a clear idea about that. Let me show you my Notepad++. This is attendance one. Then no need to bother about that. Okay.
Sir,
1 second. Yeah. See
sir,
this
I
one.
have.
So we are going to discuss about the extensions. Extensions. So what are the extensions? Let me zoom my, yeah. So for the word files, what for the word files we are doing for .doc or .docx. This is for Word, Microsoft Word extensions. For CSV files or Excel files, we'll tell it as CSV or XLSX. So these are the extensions. We'll call these are the extensions. What is the notepad one for that? .txt. This is the extension for the file which we saved as a text file. So how you are going to know that whether it is belongs to the particular file or not? Based on the extension, you came to know that this belongs to the particular file. Okay, what if this is a Java program, .java? What this if is a Python program, .py? And what if this is a particular C program, .c? So this is how we are going to find out that the file belongs to particular application. So this is for document purpose, which we call it as a MS Word, and this is for Excel sheets or a CSV files. So this is for a text file, and this is for a .java file. This is for a Python, or this is a Java. So you are going to know that this file particularly belongs to the specific file or not. So based on this one, I'm going to identify that. See this one here, .xml. This is the XML file. This is the .txt file, and this is the .java file. This is how you are going to find out what is this file is. Okay. Okay. Let me share you my. Yeah, so many applications has been opened. That's why it is find out. Okay, yeah. So this is how we are going to compile the programs and all. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about non-primitive data types. Think like this is a general types only, because of mainly we are going to discuss now about the primitive data types. So just take it as a sample one, just a simple one. We're not going to discuss because all these non-primitive data types are consisting of more. So this was somewhat different, think like a different. After the completion of primitive data types, we are going to discuss about this. Think like this, I'm telling about this, what is it is. So the reference data types, we'll call it as a reference data types. What is the reference? We are going to take as a reference all these non-primitive data types. We are going to take it as a reference. Based on the reference, what it consisting of, inside this each and every non-primitive data types, we are having somewhat of methods. So we are going to access that based on these references. And one more thing, the main difference between primitive data types and non-primitive data types is non-primitive data types, primitive data type starts with a small letter. Remember this one, primitive data types or starts with the small letters, and non-primitive data types starts with the capital letters. And I want to tell you one thing, primitive data types are 8. We are having 8 primitive data types, and non-primitive data types are 4 only. Don't you think about an object. Well, I will tell you about the object. So we are having 4 non-primitive data types: arrays, string, class, interface. All these are keywords. All these are keywords. What are the keywords? The keywords in the sense, these are a built-in words which are available at the time of Java development. So again, I'm telling you, these are what are the keywords? Keywords are already defined. We are going to use that one only. What is the user defined? That the newly prepared one, what we prepared, they are user defined, so they can do on our own. But these are user predefined, which is already built by the Java. So again, I'm telling you, please remember this, non-primitive data type starts with the capital letters. Non-primitive data types starts with the capital letters. By using the reference of it in the memory address locations, we are going to use for the particular tasks and all. So if there is a particular task, if there is a specific task, then only we are going to use this. So object is somewhat different. Object is somewhat different compared with these 4 primitive data types. Think like how many non-primitive data types are available. If someone asks you like how many non-primitive data types are, only 4: arrays, string, class, and interfaces. Other than that, we are sometimes called like object also as a non-primitive data type. And one more thing I want to tell you, the people will say like, along the primitive data types, why can't we go for a non-primitive data type as a string? So sometimes they will say, in some conditions, they will say that So it is only basis on what we are doing at the time of a programming. At the time of a programming, we'll use the string also as a primitive data type. And I'm telling you, this is a non-primitive data type, but sometimes we'll use as a primitive data type also. So you will get a good idea about this at the time of the examples and all. Okay, there is no need to worry. And this one object is somewhat different with the non-primitive data types. And I'm saying we'll think it as a primitive data type, and this is also we'll think it as non-primitive data type. But when you're writing as a question, if they ask you a question in your examination, so how many primitive data types? There are 8 primitive data types. There are only 8 primitive data types, and there are 4 non-primitive data types. In the point of examination, you are going to write this. If you want to write this one also, that doesn't matter for them. So it is also okay. Only a 4 is available for the interview point of view or examination point of view. So what is a non-primitive data type? The reference data type. Sorry, what is this? Sir, we can compile directly in Java. So what is your question? Actually, I will give you 5 to 10 minutes after the completion of the class. Okay, if you have any doubt, I will ask for the doubts and all. Okay, even right? Yeah, okay. Need to complete the topics. We have very, I mean, for the week only, we are having 3 classes. That is a problem. Okay, at the end of the class, I will ask you for the doubts. Okay. So the reference data type will contain a memory addresses of a variable value, because the reference types won't store the variable value directly in the memory. So what it is saying, this we are considering as a references only. This we are considering as a references only. So based on the reference, by using a dot operator, we are going to access a particular method inside. We are going to access a particular method inside a memory locations. So when we call the particular method inside this non-primitive data types, there only this is taken as a reference. Only this is taken as the reference, not as the how we can say that directly we are not going to take this and all. Directly we are not going to take this. Only inside this some particular methods are available. We are going to access that. So here we won't store the variable value directly in the memory. So this is how at the time of a memory allocation, so this will store as a reference only, not by value. So I think like this is not taken directly to the memory location. Just we are taking it as a reference only. Reference is somewhat different as a memory allocations. So directly memory allocation was a different, but we are going to take this as a reference only. Okay, think like directly it won't store in the memory. We'll take it as a reference, not by value, by reference. Again, I'm telling you, by value, by reference. There is a topic in the C language. How you are going to use the methods, functions like, how you are going to access the functions. There should be 2 types. By using the pointers, you are using ampersand, isn't it? That you are using ampersand symbol over there for the reference and all. By value, that was a different. By value, that was different. By the reference, here we are storing it. Reference in the sense, particularly not by value. There was 2, think like there are 2 different cases. One is by reference and by value. In this sense, we are taking it as a reference. Okay. Okay, you will get a clear idea with the example. Doesn't matter. So variables. So what is a variable? The variable is a container which holds a value. The variable is a container which holds a value while the Java program is executed. So what it is saying, like variable is a container. Think like that is a box. So the variable is a box that holds a value. Similarly, yesterday itself, I told you a small program. Okay, now we are going to go for each and every primitive data type also. There is no need to worry. So here, the variable is like a box that it holds a value. So if it is like a primitive data type integer, like integer consisting of a variable name, I is equals to 2. So that it is holding the value 2 while the Java program is executed. So at the time of an execution, this container consisting of a value, if we declared over there, if we initialized over there, initialization, declaration. I will show you how you are going to declare a variable and how you are going to initialize a variable. Okay. And then a variable is assigned with the data type. So each and every variable is having must, we have to declare with the data type only. Without data type, this is not possible. Variable does not exist. Again, I'm telling you, without a data type, variable does not exist. So inside a Java, it is essential to say that which type of variable you declared in the program, which type of a variable you declared, whether it is a primitive or a non-primitive. Okay. Now, variable is a name of a memory location. So it is the name of a memory location. Think like this is a box consisting of, let me delete this one. Yeah, this is a box. This box consisting, the name of this box is A. Think like this is a container. This is a container whose name is A and whose type is an integer. And the value consisting of 1 over here, simply. So this is A. Sorry, here the typing is not possible. It's okay. This container's name is A. Inside a memory location, there is a name called A. So this is a container that consisting and holding the value 1. So this is A is equal to 1. In the memory location, we are going to allocate a variable A, and this is a container. What we discussed, variable is a container that holds a value. A consisting of a value 1. This is how inside your memory, we are going to assign a value. These are the variables. Let me undo this. Yeah. There are 3 types of variables in Java: local, instance, and static variables. So how many types of variables are available inside a Java? Local, instance, and static variables. Don't you think about the global variables? Inside a C language, we are having a global variables, but now we don't have any global variables. Outside a C class, outside the class, it is not possible to declare variables. So that's why inside the class only we have to do that. Why? Because class is the collection of methods and variables and statements. Class consisting of a statements. So here you have to remember that inside Java we are having only a 3 variable types. What are they? Local, instance variables, and a static variables. Now we are going to discuss about the primitive data types and how you are going to declare a variable and how you are going to initialize a variable in Java. And also parallelly, we are discussing about the local, instance, and static variables. Okay. Now I'm going to share my tool. I already said manually every time it is not possible to work on Java programs because this is good for us to understand each and everything. This is a tool. If you and already said, excuse me. So this is a tool Intel IJ. The symbol will be like this, which is for a Java development. Itself, you will get a clear idea about how you are going to do that. So what we discussed over there, inside a ECE folder, I created example.java. Similarly, like this is the source folder. Inside this, I'm going to create a Java file. Okay. Inside this, I'm going to create a Java file. The name of the file will be example. And you have to select one of the options. This is the class one. Interface is a concept is available inside the 3rd unit, I think. We are going to discuss this one and this one later. We don't have a FX, but the applications are AWT available. We're going to discuss that one also. Initially, we're going to discuss about the classes one. Click on that. So the file will be created like this, example.java. Okay. Example.java file has been created. Okay. So now we are going to write how you are going to start. Only the compiler starts with the main method. How to write a 1 second. Yeah. So how you are going to start that one? With an access specifier, with an access modifiers. What are the access specifier and modifiers? What I said? Access controls also will say that. Access
Public,
specifiers
public,
or a
private,
modifiers or a controls. We'll call it as a public or
private,
or protected. So these are the keywords which is available in Java. We'll call these as access modifiers or access specifiers or access controls. So all these words are same. Please remember that. And there is a default also. For default, in the sense, the default does not have any keyword over here. In the sense of an interfaces, only default keyword is available. Interfaces is a topic available inside a fourth or a third unit. There we'll discuss about the default keyword. But if you don't mention anything before a variable or a method, we'll consider that as a default access control. Okay. Now for the main method, it is essential to mention a public, because every time we are going to access that. That's why every time there is no, we should mention a public over here. Okay. Public static void main. So each and every program starts with the main method. And how the compiler is going to identify this is the main method? By using string single dimensional arrays, and this is a user defined variable name. And this starts with the brace. Okay. So this is how the basic declaration of a class. What is the name of the class? Example. How you say this is a class file? There is a capital letter over here. Okay. There should be a capital letter. Okay. Okay. And now inside this, we are going to, how you are going to declare a variable. Declaration of variable. This is a declaration of a variable. Okay. So how you're going to do that? For the integers, int, this is the data type. What the type of the variable, and then I, the name of the variable. So one thing you have to remember, there are some conditions to declare a variable. There are some conditions. You should not take a 2. So because the variable name should not be the numerics. The name of the file, sorry, the name of the variable is not a numeric values. It should be the alphabets only. And you can also take like this is a scroll underscore. It is also possible. Underscore is also possible, and hyphen is not possible. And there should not be a number over here. Numerics also not allowed. So after this, you can take the numerics. That doesn't matter. And it is not possible. So these are the special characters only allowed underscore. If there is 2 words inside a variable like Java file. So if there is 2 words inside a variable name or a method, they are separated by the underscore. This is only allowed. Underscore is only allowed. So like dot operators and hyphens are not allowed. Okay. Remember this one, it starts with a alphabet only, and is always a small letter. Should not mention a capital letter over here. Only a small letters for the variable name. Okay. I'm taking it as I is equal to 1. Let me delete this first. Yeah. This is the declaration of a variable with the integer type. And then how you are going to initialize that? Initialization of a variable. Okay, how you are going to initialize that? There is no need to mention again the type of a variable. Directly, it is already declared. That's why we can take I is equals to 1. So this is how we are going to initialize a variable by using equal to operator. This is the operator we'll say. We'll call it as an operator. There are so many operators available in Java. So how you're going to initialize that? I is equal to 1 by using assignment operator. We'll call it as an assignment operator. How you are going to do that? By using assignment operator. So this is the declaration and this is the initialization. For our easy, to make it as easy, what we do, directly will do like this. So directly we can do like this. So for easy point of why we are going to again and initialize that. In some conditions, it is essential inside a methods. This is, we call it as a local variables. So for the main methods, these are a local variables. Again, I'm telling you, these are the local variables. If you declare like this, if you declare your variable over here like this, they will say as an instance variable or a class variables. Again, I'm telling you, these are the instance variables or a class variables. Please make sure that concentrate on the topic, how the variables change their name according to their position. So these are instance variables or class variables, call it as a class variables, sorry. And these are local variables, okay? So I'm telling you. So here the difference is somewhat different. Okay, okay, let me remove this one. Yeah. Yeah. See this one, we'll call this, if we declare a variable over here, this is an instance variable. If you declare over here, this is a class, this is a local variable. We call it as a local variable also. Okay. What we declare inside a method or some other, let me take one more method, public, sorry, void. This is the return type and the method name is like test. Yeah. So I just declared one more method. So this is the main method, how the compiler is going to identify based on the string arguments. This is a general method or a function having a return type public and the access specifier control. Sorry, access control public. Okay. So here how you are going to do this. So when you are going to declare a variable inside this, int j is equals to 1. So here for this test method, this is a local. For this test method, this is a local. So think like in India, according to the India, we are all locals for the India. According to the Andhra Pradesh, we are local for the Andhra Pradesh. Think like in that way. So think like this is an India. So if we are going to say that other state people are non-locals, like Telangana state is non-local for us, other states like 28 or 29 states are available. All those state people are non-locals for us. We belongs to, think like this is Andhra Pradesh and this is a Telangana. So this Telangana consisting of the variables, to them these are the local variables. But if we compare this, if someone is going to access India, we all belongs to the local. This is how we differentiate the local and the instance variables. Okay. Yeah, you can take like this also. You can take I over here. So this we call it as a scope because let me remove this one. So for this method, we are having I is equal to 4. Again, I declared an int over here. So for this method, this is local, right? So there is no need a scope for this variable. Scope in the sense, 1 second.
The variable value.
Since there is no identification on I over here for this main method, or even the test method doesn't know there is a variable inside a main method. That's why if we declare integer over here for the I, it won't throw any error. If you are going to take like floats I, so there is an error. Already it is defined over here. So this we consider, this is the scope, we say that. So for the test method, I don't the test method don't know this is a variable inside a main method. There is a variable inside a main method. That's why there is no scope of error over here. If you mention as a local variable, again you are going to declare that already defined over here. See this one, variable I is already defined in the scope. There is already defined in the scope. Then why you are going to declare again? So there is no, you should not declare that. Use another name instead of I. Okay. So use another name instead of I. Already defined, should not be declared again. Okay. This is the differences. These are the basic topics. That's why it is taking time. Once you got this, then we'll move somewhat fast. Okay. There's no need to worry because we need to complete the syllabus. A lot of syllabus is available for you. Okay. This is how about the local and instance variables. I is equals to, sorry, int I. So, and one more thing I want to tell you, let me undo this. If we declare I, int I, this is the instance variable and there is no need to access. So what it is telling, non-static field I cannot be referenced. Again, I'm telling you, but this is not a static method and this is a static method. What is a static method? There is no need to create an object. Directly we can access for that. So this is what the static method. Think like other than a dynamic, what I said in the previous class. So if anything is going to access outside, anything is going to access outside this static method, it should be static. So here I removed the declaration. Here I removed the type of it because this is an instance variable along the class. Within the class, I can use anywhere. If I mention over here like global variables inside a C language. So if I declare once over here, I can use them many times. Declare once, use many times. This is a concurrent, right? This is a word concurrent we discussed initially. You declare once, use many times. So, but in the sense of a main method, it consisting as a static. So the main method expects a static method only. If you want to access anything like instance variables, it should be a static, then only it is accessible. Let me change this. If throws away, remove this one. There is no need of this. Just for the differentiation, I just said like that. This is a static method. If you want to access anything outside, there should be a static only. It should be a static, or else it throws error. It should be a static. Let me change the font size. Sorry. Yeah, I think for visible point of view, I change the color of the tool itself. So this is a static, then error has been gone. See this one. Again, it is telling what it is saying. This is a non-static field. I is a non-static field. Please make sure that it is a static only. Then only I will access that. Okay. I'll mention it as a static. Sorry. Static. Okay. This is a static. Now error has been gone. So anything you want to access from the static method, anything you want to access from the static method, it should be a static. It must be a static or else it throws error. Okay. Remember this one. These are static variables. How many types of variables available? One is local variables, another one is instance or a class variables, and one more thing is a static variables. This is how all about the variables declaration and initialization. Okay. Okay, now I'm going for the PPT. Yeah, everything is done. Now, operators. What are the operators? The operators, let me tell you, sorry, I forgot to tell you one thing about, is it sharing? Yeah. So I want to tell you about, I already said that, right? Long, int, short, bytes. I already said this, but I'm telling you for the information point of view. So how the compiler came to know that whether it is a particular variable or not. This should be a small letter, sorry. Primitive data type starts with a small letter. So the short in the sense will take it as a value like 4 or 43, whatever it is. Don't you think about this? According to our usage, and we are going to take this one. Every time 99% will consider the primitive data type integer for the whole numbers. In some conditions, it is necessary for the long, for the big numbers. So how the compiler came to know that whether it is a long variable, how the compiler came to know that by using a keyboard, sorry, by using a letter, a small or a capital letter, already said this. Just I am initializing. Don't you think about these two things? Maximum we won't use this one. Okay, in the sense when we are using that, I will tell the in detail about this. Think like these are the whole numbers, that it allows only whole numbers, not the decimal numbers. Okay. Okay, think like this is equals to like, okay, yeah. And long is equal to, so the same values are just stored over here. How the compiler came to know that whether this is a long variable or not? For this, we need to mention a small letter or a capital L. You need to mention a small L, a capital L at the end of the number. At the end of the number, you should mention capital L, a small L. Then only the compiler came to know that, yeah, this is a long variable. Okay. And now in the sense, the same thing will happen in the sense of a float and a double. Float f is equals to 3.5. So why it is showing error? It is thinking like this is a double. This is thinking like this is a double. In the sense of this, it won't throw any error. Directly it will consider. But in the sense of a double or a float, it throws error. Take it as a double. Well, consider this as a double. Please change it to double. It is asking. Then we are telling the compiler, this is already compiled. That's why it is showing error. This is the usage of a tools. This is already compiled. What the interpreter does, line by line compilation. So line by line, the compilation taking place. That's why it is showing error over here directly. This is the usage of a tools and all. So this is the interpreter. When we run, there is a JIT compiler inside a JVM. We discussed about JIT, just in time compiler, to save some time. So this is how line by line compilation by the interpreter. That's why it is showing directly error over here. So this is the usage of a tools, which is a very useful, and even organizations, they use the tools only. Manually, they won't run the programs. So if they want to run manually the program after the compilation of the project, after completing the project, they will send a file .wa or a file. Extension of the file is var file war. So by using the file, they will run directly over there. That was somewhat different. At the sense of a servers, there is no need to think about that, because after the completion of this, I will show you a mini project so that you will get a good idea. Based on the Java, I will do a mini project for you at the end of the all the topics. Okay, there is no need to worry. So this is the compiler is asking like, please mention a double over here. So please mention a double over here. I will remove the error, but I need a float. I don't need a double. So for this, we need to mention a capital F or a small f. Same thing like a long and an integer. Same thing like long and integer. Mention a small l or a capital L over here, or small f or capital F. Then only the compiler came to know that there is a float variable available. So what is the double? Simple double one is a common thing. Sorry. Double D is equals to like 34.6 something. So now this is the double variable. If you mention a D over here, that doesn't matter for them. So for our information point of view, capital D or a small d also enough. But if you remove this one also, by default, it is a default double type only. Okay. Just I'm mentioning the D for the difference in between these two things. One is a float and the one is a double for decimal values. Okay. We'll discuss about the characters already and Boolean values. So Boolean types are like true or false, but by default, the value is null. I already said that one. So there is no need to worry. At the time of programming, you came to know that each and every, data types, the primitive data types. And now we are going for the operators. So how many operators are available? There are a maximum of 5 operators are available. They are arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, and a bitwise operator. So I'm not going to take each and every example inside a tool because there are so many things, right? So according to our usage, we'll use this one. Okay. Generally, we'll go for the addition equal to and double equal to and okay, each and everything takes a time. What is an addition? This addition operator inside in println statement, we already said for the concatenation purpose. If there are two strings available, they get attached. If there is a numerical value is also available, and there is one more string is available inside a println statement or somewhere else inside a statements, they get added, they are get concatenated. So particularly they are available inside a string class. Inside a string class, some methods are available for the concatenation. But in the sense of a Java, we use directly an operator to add two strings and all. Okay. And now subtraction. Subtraction in the sense, if we use a subtraction inside a statements, then it will be like, you already know this one, already all these things. So I will give you only one example for all these things. We'll get a clear idea about this. I think I'm wasting my time. Yeah, okay. Because this is a new, right? So it is essential to tell each and everything. So each and everything will be explained at the time of an examples. Okay. Or in the sense, the conditions are available. So there are conditions, if, else if, or if else. So some conditions are there. So at that time, we are going to discuss this one and this one. So these are all the things available over there. The same thing. The for loops. Inside of for loops, you are going to use this. We already said about this. This is an assignment operator. At the time of initialization of a variables or some other things. Initialization, we are going to use this I equals to 1. So all these are familiar for us in the sense of a conditions and all. We are going to discuss about all these things. Okay. There is no need to worry about all these things. These are the simple things you can understand very easily. Asterisk in the sense for the multiplication of two numericals. Subtraction is also possible in the sense of two numericals. Addition is also possible in the sense of two numericals. In the sense of strings also, for the concatenation purpose, we use them. So this is a division. Division in the sense, let me show you one program. PDF. What the PDF you want? Yeah, I think today it is enough for us. Actually, only 7 minutes left, right? So do you have any doubts on this? Let me know the doubts what you have.